Hello, this is Gary Hines from the Gary Hines Consulting Group, and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel to talk about career strategy management and career transitions. So far we've already talked about the 5 phases of career management and strategy that I use in my practice. And just as a quick review, phase 1 is actually the self-assessment phase, where you would work with me to discover what it is that is your passion. What is it that you're really interested in doing in your career? So we use a variety of tools and techniques for the self-assessment piece. So that's number 1. That's the first thing. Then we actually work on phase 2, which I call the career analysis and research phase, where you actually look at your career, you look at your job title, you look at the industry, and find out if this is really where you want to be. Okay, we study that. And 3, which we're in now, phase 3, is preparing for the transition. And so far we've talked about something called the written accomplishment stories, something that you should use as part of your package as you're getting ready to transition. And today I want to focus on something that I include in my 15 key points of career transition, and that's the professional biography. So you probably say, what is a professional biography? Well, it's just a 1-page write-up. It's a 1-page narrative of your career written in the third person, as though someone else wrote it about you, as if it's a review about you. You know, Gary Hines is a seasoned professional with over 25 years experience in the healthcare industry. You know, it starts off with something to that effect. So this is no time to be shy. You can make it sound, very good, very impressive. And this will be a primary tool you'll use, at a networking event. Traditionally you might think you go to a networking event and you hand somebody a resume and say, hey, here's what I do. Well, a lot of times people will not take that. They're not going to look at it. But if you have a 1-page biography that you can hand somebody at an event, and mind you, everybody, I'm totally aware that we're in COVID right now, and you're not going to be doing much hand-to-hand or face-to-face connections, but even virtually, you can hand somebody your biography by sending it to them. So this biography, again, is something that you can use at networking events. You can use it to post online on your LinkedIn profile and other places. But again, it sort of gets to the key points of what it is that you're good at, what your skill sets are. 30 years of experience in this, degrees in that. Here's an example of a project that I worked on, and here's the results. You can even, quantify things that you've done on this professional biography. So somewhere in the middle of the document, you could create a bullet list of tangible results that you've achieved, which might draw directly from your accomplishment stories that I talked about previously. So, if you tackled some particular project and you got some results, increased revenue, decreased expenses, expanded production, communicated and did outreach, whatever you did, and you had some tangible results behind that, you could use that in your professional biography. So I'm saying this biography is multi-useful. You can use it in a variety of places. So, but I can give you step-by-step examples of how to write this out. And some people might feel like, oh, this doesn't sound natural. Well, it's opposed to just, it's looking at you objectively from a distance, from somebody else kind of reviewing what you've done, even though you write it. But it gives somebody a good idea in a short 1-pager that they can take with them and say, hey, this person sounds really interesting. Maybe I'll ask them to send the resume. So at this point, it's not taking the place of a resume, but it's a very short document that you can use, you can hand out, you can customize, you can be very creative with it. And again, you can post it in so many different places now that are, you're using as part of your job search. So anyway, that's the second of about 15 key points I want to cover in this preparing for the transition phase. You can work with me on that. I can help you craft it, and along with the other pieces that we're going to talk about as we go forward. But again, give me a call, 215-954-8309, or hit me up at Gary@GaryHinesConsulting.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. So anyway, that's the information we have for you today. All right, talk to you later.